We're here live in Minneapolis. Thousands of people are out here marching for George Floyd. Marching on 38th Street. George Floyd was killed yesterday by Minneapolis police. 4 Minneapolis police officers. 2 main officers that were in the main video by a bystander who shot it, who witnessed the whole thing. Well, not the beginning of the incident, but from the time where George Floyd started to get a knee in his neck that didn't stop for over 8 minutes, resulting in his death. Last night at about 8 p.m. on 38th Street in Chicago. Right now we're on 38th and passing 25th. From what I hear, this march is headed to the 3rd Precinct. I think there's other break-off things that might be happening. There's so many people out here. Good to see you. Thanks, bro. See the Hennepin County Jail oranges right there. Reminds me, we just dropped a new report. 27-year-old Hardal Sherrill was in Beltrami County Jail in 2018 for 9 days before he perished. He died from a syndrome called Guillain-Barré syndrome, and as the syndrome started to impact his health and deteriorate his health, he was continually pleaded for help from correction officers and doctors. The help did not come. He died in a jail cell 9 days after being transferred to Beltrami County. He was the 3rd death in Beltrami in I think as many years, in 2016, 17, 18, maybe 2015. It was Stephanie Bunker and Tony May were also victims. There is some other folks too from Beltrami County. Anyways, the point of that is there's been a new report that have detailed the findings of a re-review. DOC Commissioner Paul Schnell, DOC's Department of Corrections, the Commissioner Paul Schnell ordered a re-review after only getting 12 hours of footage in their first initial review. So Beltrami County only gave the DOC 12 hours of footage from Hardal Sherrill's death and nothing else from any of the 9 days. So that was the first review. The second review was ordered because of that. And it was also a month after we released jail videos that were obtained by Delcia Perry, Hardal Sherrill's mother. Those jail videos depicted extreme medical negligence and very hard to watch. A month after that was published, those 6 jail videos, along with a report with an exclusive interview with Delcia Perry, Hardal's mom, that's when the re-review was ordered. From the re-review being ordered, there was also the findings. The findings were 4 specific violations out of many violations. And those 4 came with no consequences, but they came with proof that a lot was happening that was wrong. There was a violation against jail standards and protocols. And with that, the lawsuit that Delcia has filed against the Beltrami County Center for Health and quite a few other places and peoples has a lot more merit. And so hopefully they're a step closer to getting accountability and justice for Hardal Sherrill, who perished behind the bars, behind jail bars, which many say to a racist system. So that was a quick little story. Check out our unicornriot.ninja for the videos of Hardal, as well as the interviews with his mother. That's not what this is about. This right here is an action that is a protest going from 38th in Chicago. This march is headed to the 3rd Precinct, 30 blocks. Quite a walk. We've gone 18 blocks or so far, 18 to 20. It's quite a bit more. 3rd Precinct is a Minneapolis police precinct where the police officers that killed George Floyd last night work. thousands of people headed east on 38th Street, probably going to go down either Hiawatha or Minnehaha Avenue to get to the 3rd Precinct police station. Ted Cooks. Again, George Floyd was killed last night by Minneapolis police. He was killed with a knee to his neck that stopped his breathing. The video taken by a community bystander who has to be shaken up after filming that and watching a man die in front of her face was published last night. That went super viral. It's across the world, international news. Once again, Twin Cities in the middle of international news when it comes to police brutality, police terror. It's another instance of police terror. Looks like people are heading north on Hiawatha, and then from Hiawatha they'll head down to Lake Street is my guess, and then head east on Lake Street. Again, George Floyd was the person who was killed last night. He literally said, "I can't breathe," I think 11 times before he died. Echoing words of Eric Garner 6 years ago, "I can't breathe," is now a continuous slogan against police terror, depicting the utter inhumane ways the police force throughout America, and quite frankly in a lot of places out there throughout the world. But mostly we're speaking about America. The police force here has continually treated folks that are not Caucasian with the uttermost inhumane ways. That was depicted in the video shot and recorded by a bystander that showed George Floyd's last breaths underneath the knee of Derek Chauvin, Minneapolis police officer who's at this point a multiple killer. He has killed multiple times before. And has shot multiple people. Police officer Derek Chauvin. There was 3 other officers involved in holding George Floyd down. Those 3 officers have not been named. There was another officer that was a partner, Tou Tao. 4 officers have been fired. Excuse me, I said they haven't been named. I believe they have been named. 4 officers have been fired. I did miss afternoon press conference and some updates this afternoon after following up this whole story since last night, early in the morning. We have a video up online on unicornriot.ninja and an article as well. Check it out if you want to know some more information.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! I can't breathe! 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 What do we want? Justice! When do we want? Now! What do we want?
Hiawatha right now. A lot of community support.
I can't breathe! 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 No peace! 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 No peace!
Again, thank you all for joining. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Thanks for running the back end, Chris and Dan, everybody else in the Unicorn Riot squad. Thank you all out in the community for supporting us. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to be here streaming this historic event live to you all. Hopefully the connection is steady now. Apologize for earlier connection difficulties.
That's my cat. You can break it.
We hope we're done with the connection difficulties. Police up the street on 31st are blocking incoming traffic coming down Hiawatha. This crowd is massive. I wonder what it would look like from a helicopter view. If you have the ability, probably check it out. There was a helicopter earlier. There's a drone up there, so somebody got a drone. Check out for that on the internet somewhere. If you haven't seen the video of George Floyd being killed, you may not want to. I think I said that again once other time on the stream, but you may not want to. If you do, you can watch parts of it, unicornriot.ninja. The other parts, the full thing, is on the internet. It's on Facebook. Darnella Frazier was a community bystander, shot the video, and I'm sure is just traumatized by seeing it. There was quite a few other bystanders that were filming and also witness to the murder of George Floyd. There's a main person on the video that you can hear as a bystander saying that he had gone through the police academy and he knew what they were doing with the chokehold and the choke to the knee, the knee hold to the neck. And basically called out Michael Chauvin as the police officer, basically called out his body language as being giddy, as enjoying himself while he was killing a black man. And I accentuate on black man because that right now is the core crux of what we're dealing with. A lot of people in the community, even going to the mayor, Jacob Fry, has said that, what did he say specifically? Being black in America shouldn't be a death sentence. He said as he watched, he believes what he watched, and what he watched was basically not right. And he saw a white man kneeling on a black man's neck for over 5 minutes when he totally didn't need to. So therefore, with that, and Police Chief Arredondo also believing that race has a lot to do with the way the Minneapolis police interacts with the community, has called in the FBI to investigate. A lot of people do not even trust the FBI as an investigatory body. Some people are like, yay, the FBI is going to investigate hate crimes and civil rights violations, but, not hate crimes, but civil rights violations. But a lot of people are like, well, look, the FBI is like a harbinger of civil rights violations, human rights violations. So a lot of people do not trust the state of policing, the institutions that police the police, which don't seem like many. And in general, do not trust the police. The feeling is very palpable. You can feel a lot of anger from the community members when you speak to them, when you hear from them. We saw earlier at the rally point at the vigil site where George Floyd was killed on 38th in Chicago. Where he was killed, there was a few contentious moments. There were some community members who were not really trying to talk about firing the officers. They wanted the officers to be prosecuted and in jail. It's a little thing happening down the street. It looks like somebody's mad at the police and taking some of the anger out at the police right there. It's got quite a few dozen people flocking that way. The rest of the crowd is continuing onward to 3rd Precinct. This officer doesn't have backup at the moment, and he's about to be surrounded.
My bad. This was social media. Let's go back. Don't throw nothing. George, don't throw anything. This is about don't throw anything. Don't throw nothing.
Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me how to express my rage. Fuck them. God, let's go. Let's go. Get off. Hey, listen. Get off me. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Real murderer. Don't touch me. Are you gonna make sure she's okay? You're a fucking murderer.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
You're a fucking murderer.
Come on now. Are you gonna make sure the girl's okay?
What did you say, officer? You expressed yourself earlier. What did you say?
They just hit that girl. You should make sure the girl's okay. They just ran her over with the car.
Right, so that's why we here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Make sure she's okay.
Where's she at?
I can't breathe.
Where's she at?
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Nobody.
Again, we're like 6-7 blocks away from the precinct. The larger crowd has gone to the precinct. Right now, this one police car is now getting this siren on. It's alone, there's no backup for him. Supposedly he just rammed into a girl, but there was also people are mad.
Get out of here, we'll get back to protest.
The anger is palpable, you can feel it. The crowd is trying to get everybody else to go that way now. Most of the people are a block. They actually pushed the police back half a block, and now continual elders are continuing to say everybody to go. You heard earlier somebody saying, don't police my emotions, don't try to tell me what to do with my emotions. People are grieving in a lot of different ways, and a lot of times people are not able to express themselves in the proper, or well, in the way that they feel is proper. And some people feel the proper way is non-violent way, and to go through the channels and to try to get justice through the system which brought this harbinger of death. Wow, the crowd is still filling down the street off of Hiawatha. Again, we're live here. This is Nico from Minneapolis. This is Unicorn Riot. Check out the rest of our work at unicornriot.ninja. Check out a post on George Floyd on our website. You can see that. We have a new piece about a Denver encampment outside the ICE building, outside the Geo ICE prison, excuse me. And we also have a new post about Hardal Sherrill, as mentioned earlier, a 27-year-old who was killed by police, among other things. So continue to check out Unicorn Riot Ninja. We have a lot more in store for you this coming up summer and fall. I hope you all are staying safe and staying healthy during this coronavirus pandemic. Here there was tragedy that this community is now dealing with, tragedy and anger and grief, and trying to figure out a way to live. Heard multiple times from black folks in the community, from folks in general in the community, that these are genocidal actions continued by police. And a lot of people think that the police have white supremacist ideations. Basically, they agree and adhere to a lot of the tenets of just white supremacy in general, and white people being as the rulers of whatever society that they've deemed they want to rule. That's the overall contentment towards the system. Beyond that, continue to follow people on the ground. There's a lot of other people on the ground getting a lot of ground source information. This is Hiawatha Avenue. I've never seen so many people on Hiawatha Avenue. Back behind us, this avenue was contentiously built. There was a big movement in, I think, the 90s, right, where people were trying to protect a lot of the land down Hiawatha, which was way down the block that way, miles and stuff. That's super cute. As I was saying, there was protest movement down a couple miles down Hiawatha when it was getting built. Hiawatha is Highway 55. People were trying to save the land. Again, it wasn't the colonialist land. Colonialists took it through imperialism, genocide, built it up through slavery. Not really so much in Minnesota was built up through slavery, but the continued thoughts of the Jim Crow North, a lot of people call it, are a reality that a lot of people deal with every day. Hiawatha 6 years ago, Mike Brown was killed. I think in November, so it was like, I think Mike Brown was killed in August, right? Somewhere around there. I think in November, they found Michael Brown, the police officer. Excuse me, not Michael Brown, what the heck? They found the police officer who killed Mike Brown. Not guilty, Darren Wilson. I believe that's how it happened in November. In November, here in Minneapolis was one of the first big shutdown, the interstate actions, place where we're headed to, 3rd Precinct. And it went down this highway that we see in front of us. Sorry, I'm walking, so it's a little bumpy, but that little bridge that you see going up, on the other side of that is where people gathered. or people went marching, excuse me, for Mike Brown. First time they took the freeway in a big move like that during the Black Lives Matter movement. They went from 55, I think, to 94 to into downtown. I can't really specifically remember. There was so many after that now. But a continued thing during that action was cars and trying to drive into the crowd and not caring that people are there. That happened multiple times. None of the people who were driving the cars were ever charged. One actually was found. Might have been detained, or they took the report from them, but they never pressed charges. And they actually ran over a girl in front of the 3rd precinct 6 years ago. Thank you all for joining. We're here live in Minneapolis. A very long march that we are headed down. Sorry I wasn't walking with somebody getting interviews. It's coronavirus pandemic time. Sometimes getting interviews is easy, sometimes it's hard. When I'm walking like this, it's actually sort of hard for me right now, as I'm carrying everything and also trying to stay masked up and protect myself and others. So I apologize for not getting a continual stream of interviews. There was a few people we spoke to earlier, and we will try to speak to some people afterwards. Again, we are headed to the 3rd precinct. There's been continual police killings around here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. St. Paul has been more deadly than the Minneapolis police. The Minneapolis police haven't shot and killed somebody for a little bit, but their body count continues to be at least a year. One dead body a year at least. In 2013, take it back a year before Mike Brown, Terrence Franklin was killed. His family just received an almost $800,000 settlement. A lot of people say that settlements specifically represent a guilty plea by the party that's giving money. It's an easy way for the police to sort of get away with being accountable. For killing people, they just use taxpayer money that then goes back to some of the community that is dealing with the traumatic police terror and incidents as such. Can I get one as well?
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you, bro.
No problem.
Thank you.
Water being handed out. Again, Terrence Franklin, he was actually shot and killed. Very dirty case. Sort of similar beginning in a way of George Floyd, suspected of check forgery. Terrence Franklin allegedly was suspected of some kind of robbery, and they saw him in his car. He got out of his car, ran into somebody's basement, was hiding behind a water heater. Police came down there, sucked the dogs on him, and then shot him in the head. Punched him in the head and shot him in the head. Shot him in the body multiple times. And then 2 police officers got the shot. A lot of people say from the community that there's no way Terrence Franklin did that. What the police are saying that he did was grabbed one of their automatic assault rifles from their chest. I think it was just a SWAT squad, Came in with supposedly a weapon around their chest or around their neck somehow, holstered or something. Supposedly Terrence Franklin was strong enough to bypass 2 of them. 2 of the SWAT squad officers, who, if you know SWAT squad, they're usually bodybuilders, taking steroids possibly, people say. Beyond that, Terrence Franklin police got away with it. They said that he did all this stuff. 2 officers were shot in the leg. Some people believe that the officers shot themselves in the leg. If you listen to the audio from the video from a bystander next to the incident while it was happening, there's a delay in shots fired. So a lot of people are saying that police killed him. And then they devised the scheme is to shoot themselves in the legs. Because it was just leg shots, wound shots, you know, like nothing serious. And then say that Terrence was doing this or that. It's been a continual thing. Like, this isn't far-fetched from reality for people to understand that police lie, police set things up, police continually perpetrate crimes. Right now it's starting to sprinkle, which is not good. So I'm like 30 blocks away from the umbrella. I'll bring some more narration in a little bit when I catch my breath. Thank you all for tuning in. It's Nico from Unicorn Riot. We're here on a protest for George Floyd. He was a man in his 40s killed last night by Minneapolis police. So many people. Wow. So here's the police precinct, here's their parking lot. Try to get it a little closer. There's many thousands of people out here in front of the 3rd precinct here in Minneapolis. It is starting to sprinkle. People are seeking justice for George Floyd. They're screaming his name, George Floyd. He was killed by Minneapolis police last night by officers out of this precinct. Derek Chauvin, Tu Thao, and a few other officers. 4 officers have been fired in the first step, a historic step that's not really been done in Minneapolis. FBI is investigating for civil rights violations. Right now the chant is racist cops has got to go.
peace. Prosecute the police.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
Excuse me.
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace.
How's it going?
Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Prosecute the police. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
Hands you too.
Prosecute the police.
There goes the window. Good?
We need to do what we do.
What's up, brother? Hey man, y'all, I like the job that y'all be doing, man. Y'all keep y'all fair and balanced, brother. Y'all do good work, man. I like the way y'all covered the Jamar Clark. I like the way y'all covered the Terrence Franklin. I've been around, and I like the Unicorn Riot, man. Y'all do a good job, man. These good people, fair and balanced. Whenever you see anything Facebook by Unicorn Riot, y'all have to, support them. This is the best news station that we have. They are fair and unbalanced, and we gotta continue to support. This type of reporting.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
What's his name?
Check it out on unicornriot.ninja is our website.
What's your website?
Unicornriot.ninja. Come on.
Unicornriot.ninja.
Appreciate you. Thank you. People are moving around to the other side of the building. We're in this.
Hey y'all, I'm telling you, if you're going inside the police station, you done broke the window, you don't get arrested. So watch what you're doing. We out here about joy. We are not trying to turn it into nothing else but about joy. So get back to no justice.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Justice, no peace. Justice, no peace. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 Prosecute the police. Prosecute the police. Prosecute the police. I mean, yeah. Prosecute the police. Prosecute the police. They got most of them. No more out the windows, the doors are shattered. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Justice, prosecute the police. Justice.
Again, we're here in front of the 3rd precinct here in Minneapolis. That's inside the precinct. There's some officers moving around. This officer with a helmet.
What do we want? Justice. When do we want
it's
it
his
now? What do we want? Justice. When do we want it now? What do we want?
I think people have gone around to the other side of the building. This window's broken out. It wasn't like any apparent throwing anything. It just happened. I was standing right here and I didn't hear anything get thrown at it. So it happened. Sort of stuck close to the building right now. It's just raining.
Yeah, they took a life last night. We want freedom, freedom. They took a whole life last night. They took a whole life last night. Well, purpose too. Freedom, freedom. We don't need them, need them.
So right now it's just a few thousand people. It's a long march that they just took. There's different things happening across the neighborhood of the march, I'm sure. People just seem bent out here to chant and sing in front of the police station right now. Again, there's people on the other side. We'll take a venture around in a second.
Where are you from?
Unicorn Riot. Let me get around my car.
I can't breathe. 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 No peace. Justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Persecute the police. No justice. No peace. Persecute the police. Everybody hear me? Hey, I grew up in that same neighborhood. I saw the kids from the same neighborhood. Those courts, I later through that. What we see today was very traumatizing. Remember that. Everybody look to left and right. Everybody look to left and right. I see you, Rodney. I see you, Rodney. We gotta stick together. What are we doing to educate the next generation? To the next generation. We have to stick together. We see this is very diverse. They street trip in America. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him know. Power to the people. Power to the people. Black love. We've been out here at least 2 times a year. The murderous police. We have to stand together as the brothers stand and fight against police brutality.
We got a YouTube channel. Is it a YouTube channel?
Yeah, we're on YouTube. Let me give you our website. We're on Riot on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're live right now.
We're live right now.
Very good. Black power. 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 Hey, just shut the fuck up the mic, man. Be aware. These are your taxes are usually for the settlement. You're not paying shit, I promise you. They're not paying shit, I promise you. They have no liability at all. No. None. Besides the fuck you and spend on their cars, that's it. You're not paying a dime. You are. The people are. You're paying money out your taxes for that settlement. Give me your hand. That's not going to our education. That's not going to our people.
Sit back in the corners. The rain is hectic.
Let me say something.
Yeah. Speak on it.
Okay, listen, man. What was more surprising to me than anything is the fact that as the gawkers and onlookers was explaining to the police that this guy is dying, the police got more emboldened. You can see him positioning his foot in his leg. I mean, his foot in his leg. The police was positioning his foot in his leg to put more hurt and pain. If you see his leg moving, you can see how he was angling himself to induce more pain on that brother, man. If you look at the police's left arm, he used his left arm as a brace on his leg to inject more pain and inflict more pain. And it's almost like he didn't want to give up the power that he had at the time. You understand what I'm saying, man? He wasn't quite ready to give up the power that he felt over that black life. Hey, man, we have to fight, man, and it's up on you, Unicorn Riot, to continue to, to do this kind of stuff, to get out here and be fair and unbalanced and tell the side outside of ABC and NBC, tell the real deal, because they're not in the trenches like you. They're not here talking to people like me. They're only talking to the politicians. They turn it political.
So also, when the officer was grinding his knee in the neck, and the bystander was saying, look, you're enjoying it, and then he got mad, and then he reached for his mace. You remember that part?
Yes, sir. He reached for his mace. Man, what I saw is a police officer unwilling to give up the power, the minutes of power that he had over that black life. He wasn't ready to release it. I think he had gotten ignorant. He had gotten mentally ignorant to what was really going on, and I think he was really living on a high hog with his foot in the neck of that black man. And as you said, they used mace, and I think all the police officers should have been fired for the simple fact that they sat and watched this man lose his life at the hands and the behest of their own officer.
Anything else you want to say? What does justice look like for this community? What does accountability look like?
Well, I believe that accountability have to start with the police officers should have to take mental evaluations before they get on force. It's so many police officers that don't understand the natural aggression of black men. It's a natural aggression from the way, that's us. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand us. And if they don't understand the people that they're policing, they shouldn't be there.
Anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
Appreciate you.
That's paid from the heart. This shit comes from my heart. I ain't here to show. This is black love. I see a lot of brothers here. Black love. This is black love.
My name is Nico. Yeah, you want to talk?
Yeah.
You can say your name if you want, otherwise you can just talk about what
All right, bet. I'm Q102, man, from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Man, it's crazy what happened here today, It's scary. It's scary this is going on. What we need is stick together, man. We need to stick together. We need to come as a community, stand up. We need to stand up for George Floyd, you heard me? Straight up. Minneapolis, Minnesota, man. We lost our voice for our man today. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Yes, sir. Let's do this. We do this, man. We do this for the community. We do this for George Floyd. We do this for every black person out there. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Did you watch the video? Do you want to speak on what you saw?
Oh no, the video was horrifying. The video was crazy, man. It's just we saw that one cop was holding the guy with his knee, but we saw like two other guys that was holding him too. But it's kind of tough on it, like, to actually. I've looked at it once. I couldn't watch it again, you know, because of the tragedy, because of what I seen, how horrifying it was, how the power we don't have, like what we don't, we can't really do anything about that because they have the badge, you know. But therefore, man, rest in peace to my man George Floyd, man. Hey, let's keep it up, Black Power, yeah, straight up.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Where's this going to be at?
Yep, it's live right now.
Oh, it's live?
Yep, let me give you a card. Here you go.
Sit down.
Again, we're live here. This is Nico. We're live here in front of 3rd Precinct in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This window didn't get out from somebody really smashing it. It just happened. I was standing here when it happened. There wasn't really anybody that was trying to smash it. Speeches are going on here in front of the precinct. It's raining. There's still thousands of people out. Looks like they've set up a water stand over here. Hey, anybody have a napkin? A tissue or a napkin? Good to see you. Okay. Go around to the other side of this building. This is the police precinct. Looks like there's graffiti on this police car. Again, there was thousands of people out here, so very surprised if no things have happened that people wanted to have happened with their anger. So. Surrounded the police precinct. The 4th precinct had the same feel. People surrounding it. There goes officers. Yeah, they got the feds out here.
What do you say? Where's the feds?
There was 2 of them. They were up at the rally earlier.
Cover what? Nice. There you go.
Don't point at me. God, don't point at me.
Who knows what he's doing, man? Look at
Black Lives Matter!
Hey, move!
Why are you guys all trying to bring it to the Nobody is banging over here. Don't put your hands on me. Nobody's banging over here. Don't put your hands on me, though. Okay. Don't put your hands on me.
They sort of just came out of nowhere.
What the fuck? Hey, attention. Y'all got to write on the wrong fucking thing. And he's going to fucking like the third person.
Everybody shut the fuck up! Shut up!
Is the police here? What?
Definitely not the
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
Fuck that.
What's his name? 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 Say it louder! Say it louder! What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Put your fist up! No, say his name! No, say his name! No, say his name! No, say his name! What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Who needs justice? Who needs justice? Who needs justice? Who needs justice?
George Floyd!
Who needs justice?
George Floyd!
Who needs justice?
Fuck the police! Fucking Nazis! George Floyd! George Floyd!
Fuck the police.
Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd!
Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! What's his name? What's his name? Say it louder! Say it louder! Say it louder! Now I need some women that's in the audience, some mothers, to make a barricade up here. Right here. Let me in. I need some women of color to make a barricade up here.
What do we want it? George Floyd died here.
You want to speak? We're live right now. You want to speak it over?
Give me a second.
Okay, word. I'll be around. Come find me if you want.
What was the most heartbreaking thing George Floyd said? No, it was mama. It was his cry for his mama. Who appreciates their goddamn mother? Who appreciates their mother? I know I'm a Florida boy and I love my mama and I'm a mama's boy till death. And I know George Floyd was too. And I really can't breathe right now.
Fuck the police.
Fuck the police.
Again, thousands of people are out here, so probably 1,000 now, maybe not a few thousand. People have surrounded the 3rd Precinct police station here in Minneapolis on the south side. George Floyd was killed last night from police officers from this police station, where people are gathered in front of and around the side of. Small acts of vandalism have happened. And that's about it. Thank you.
I just realized I spelled his name wrong, and I hate this motherfucker just as much, man.
Do you want to talk about what brought you out right now? Did you watch the video?
Oh yeah. You know, I'm very much against police killing people, murdering people. I have a personal connection. I have a schizophrenic brother who was assaulted by police about a year ago and walked away from that situation feeling very thankful that the motherfuckers didn't kill him. And here we are, and another person has gotten killed, unjustly murdered by police. And, you know, I'm here like everybody else because I want justice. We need justice. We can't have this happening anymore. Yeah, man.
Anything else you want to say?
Love your guys' work. You guys are the #1 independent news source. Thank you. Keep doing it. I count on you guys.
Appreciate it.
Likewise.
My name is Nico. What's your name?
Nico. Alex.
Good to meet you.
You too, man.
Take care. So it seems like there was a few times where momentum gathered at certain spots. People swept in, stopped the momentum, and gathered it to their own thoughts of how to momentumize this instance. As you saw, the police inside were ready with riot batons. There wasn't that many of them. And there's thousands of people out here in the streets. The speaker just said George Floyd did not die in vain. You know, we know because we're all here together. As far as an avenue for a lot of the people to vent, it seems like a lot of people who are trying to vent here are told to vent elsewhere. We'll see what that brings about in the following days, besides more anger and more pent-up grief and disconcernment towards either the police, the state, or the government, or all three. Police have not policed this march, but organizers and other people with megaphones and other such things have policed it quite often and continuously from the beginning until now. And the police are out here. Supposedly, somebody said the police are out here. We'll see. Doesn't look like it. People are continually posing. Again, the problems happen when you don't allow people to sort of move around like water, as in Hong Kong, for lack of a better word. When you try to police the protests, a lot of sort of, maybe not fights, but somehow arguments continue to break out. And again, we were talking about it earlier. It's an unfortunate thing in the movements where people have differing views of tactics and they don't respect other people's tactics, and that's an unfortunate thing. For a lot of movements, they need to have, to be successful, a multitude of approaches and tactics. One of the tactics is police fully marching and trying to prosecute the police. Another tactic could be people taking out their anger in small acts of vandalism, and other people have possibly other ways of grieving and dealing with their anger. So right now we've seen a lot of protest police happening. Seems like some of them have cleared from this area. We'll see. The old communication system.
Prosecute the police. Fuck the police. Fuck the police.
Again, when it comes to people doing what they want in different movement spaces, the diversity of tactics is a way for a lot of people. I'm speaking as a personal journalist from a historical perspective, not from Unicorn Riot perspective. As a personal journalist from a historical perspective, a lot of movements in the past have been successful with the diversity of tactics. Right now, that was a question being had. Is there an allowance of a diversity of tactics? I'm going to move back to a tree a little bit. It gets a little shade, sorry. Again, there's probably still hundreds, if not thousands of people out in the street. Outside of the 3rd precinct here in Minneapolis.
Oh, they're bringing mace out. They're bringing mace out.
People have the milk out and ready for the tear gas and pepper spray. Again, this is the police parking lot. Basically, the whole place is surrounded.
What the police? What the police?
It's like people are trying to take out their anger. Other people are stopping them.
Fuck
peace. Fuck 12. There's no peace. Fuck 12. Fuck 12.
Right behind the walls or these windows is a bunch of police officers in riot gear. Or was a little bit ago. I can't see them at this point. Looks like they've disappeared, gone down a different hallway.
The fuck has got for real. Damn, damn master.
Hey, come on, I gotta put the camera away. Yeah, do you have any? Come on. Do you have any other things? Those are eggs. Yo, who was asking you? Were you just asking to come in? No, that was me. Oh, hey, yo.
Hey, they finna run out, y'all. They finna run the fuck out.
Let them run out.
Hey, they're still there. They're still there. Ready?
Baby!
Excuse me.
Motherfucker better stop hitting me. I'm not up.
Windows are being smashed out all over the police precinct. The anger is palpable, people. This is a continual problem. People have no recourse. Right now, people are taking some recourse out on the police station. A lot of eggs and water's thrown at this wall, and then bricks and other such objects thrown at other windows. There's a lot of graffiti that's popped up.
What's the craziest thing you've caught so far?
The craziest?
Can you go back over there? No, I missed it. They literally had guns. Like, I'm talking about automatic.
People are running everywhere. Looks like they're getting in the car now. Okay, I'll get back to that.
Stop the bullshit, man.
So right here you see this is the building.
Black people are already at risk. Why everybody doing this
There's the
shit?
building.
Who do you think they're gonna target first? This is why we're here. Stop this shit and speak up and let people know what's going on. But we're not doing that shit. We're not doing that shit.
People are streaming in from the other side. People have been smashing out the windows and tagging the doors, tagging the walls. No justice, no peace. Now people are standing up as the peace police.
Chill.
And they're running after people who are throwing things.
We gotta stand up for our people, man. Ain't no more keep on running. They finna come outside right now. Now is not the time to run. This is when you stand strong and let them know that we will not take this any longer. We will not take this any longer.
This is the end. We took enough of this. We didn't care then. We got our foot down now. We tired of this. Stop killing our people. Honestly, everybody fucking cares.
Fuck that. If you ain't with us, you against it.
Hey, I got milk for our people right now.
Hey, look.
So that anything happen, anything go down,
All I'ma say-
we're gonna represent all that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, at the end of the day, this is not a civil rights issue. The world gotta know this is a human rights issue.
Hey, look.
Fuck all
I
that
got a
civil rights
9-year-old
shit.
son out here. I'm fighting for 2 months. My son gotta grow up in this world. Fuck all that, bro.
Hey,
Believe
fuck
that.
this shit.
Fuck this shit. Not a racial issue. This is fucked up. It needs to stop. This motherfucking police needs to stop killing fucking black people. Black lives matter. Black forces matter. Fuck y'all, motherfuckers.
This is only history in the making. This is not done yet. This is only the beginning, okay? Only the beginning. Doesn't stop here. Fuck, we're tired. Our young people have to stand up. We're tired of this. They can't keep killing us. They've been doing this for too long. We got to stand up. If you black, you should be out here. We all out here, whether it's peaceful or not. They're not peaceful with us, so we need to be out here making noise for everybody. For George, justice for Floyd. No silence. We have to stand together. We don't have to run. We tired of running from y'all. We tired. Y'all don't get it.
Man, so nice, my ass. This has been going far too long. Let us show how we black people really get down. Thank you.
Is it done? Sorry. People say, what's a car to a life?
Right. We've been worried about that than what's going on with the life. They killed that man. It was 7 minutes. Don't forget they had his foot on his neck for 7 minutes. We're not talking about no split-second decision they had to make. They did that for 7 minutes. And we worried about a car or their fucking building? Fuck they building.
Something we pay for. We pay for that. We don't give a fuck about this shit. We don't care about that car. We paying for that. That's the thing, though. Why we gonna waste our time if we paying for that shit? We gotta get our point across. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to get my fucking point across.
Right into their hands. That's what they want y'all to do. We can't win this way. We cannot win. Don't do that.
Fuck the police.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Tires are popped.
I love you guys.
No justice! No peace! 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 No justice! No peace!